Nelson Rutherford Johnson Sr. I was born in Jacksonville, Florida, February 14th, 1970. My father was a big part of the civil rights movement in the South. He was a civil rights attorney and was instrumental in desegregating school systems, school districts throughout the state of Florida. My father also was one of Martin Luther King Jr.'s attorneys. Martin Luther King Jr. Strategically had attorneys around the country that were willing and ready to help him at a moment's notice, and my father was one of them. Because my father was one of Martin Luther King Jr.'s attorneys, when he marched in Florida, he met at my parents' house. I only know about my parents' reaction to MLK's assassination because of what they told me. I wasn't born yet. But because of their personal and professional relationship with him, I know that they were very disturbed by it. But at the same time, I think they knew that it was bound to happen, and I think he knew that it was bound to happen. I feel like there will always be racial tensions as long as there are people with different people with different ethnicities, people with different religious affiliations. There's always going to be discrimination. I feel like this country has come a long way, but still has a long way to go. The fact that we have an African American president speaks volumes about where we are as a people. But there's still a lot of racism in America, and obviously it's worse in some places. Some places worse than others. But as long as there is different people, there's going to be discrimination. When Barack Obama was elected, I was elated because I felt like it really said a lot about where we are as a country, and that we've come a long way to elect an African American for president. So for that reason, I was really excited. However, I'm not really a big Obama supporter, and his second election wasn't really, I didn't feel nearly as triumphant as I felt the first time around. But I still feel like he was the better candidate both times. I think there is a difference in race relations between the South and Los Angeles. I've been in Los Angeles for 14 years now, and I've noticed that interracial relationships are more prevalent and more accepted here than in the South. I think in Florida, where I'm from, if there were an interracial couple, they would, if they were, walking in a mall or something like that, they would get a lot of stares. Here, it's not a big deal. People probably don't even give interracial couples or families a second look. Um, so yeah, like there's definitely differences. I think because Los Angeles is a melting pot, and there's so many different ethnicities and religious affiliations and cultures all in one place. You're kind of forced to get accustomed to different people. Um, it's not so much like that in the South. My father was not only a civil rights activist, but was also a politician. And in Jacksonville, Florida, he was the president of the city council for, I believe, 16 years. And as a child, I remember, as like a 5 or 6 year old kid, I remember passing out brochures to passersby outside of my father's headquarters, and I remember handing a brochure to this one man and saying, please vote for my father. And the guy, he smacked the brochure out of my hand and said, I don't vote for niggers. And I think that was the first time that I had experienced racism directly. And I was about 6 years old at that time. My mother was a professor of education. At Jacksonville University, and she helped to start the first Upward Bound program at Jacksonville University. Over the course of about 30 plus years, she helped thousands of young students achieve their goals by graduating high school, not only graduating high school, but also going to college and graduating from college. Many of them became doctors, lawyers, teachers, scientists, and that's a pretty powerful thing to achieve, and very rewarding when you meet people who come up to you and say, your mother, if it wasn't for your mother, I would have never gone to college and I wouldn't be where I am today. And to have many people come say that to you, it's a pretty good feeling to know that your mother has touched so many lives.